We're live, allegedly.
We are live.
See if it'll actually display like a decent quality for me this time around, because last time it was trash.
Do you know that last time it was disconnecting me here, but not on the recording?
Yeah, that was crazy. I'm gonna blame Twitter for that. Hey, I look clear. Not all fudged up. Perfect. Episode 63.
Yep.
63. It's not episode 63. I can type things today.
You really struggle with the word episode, and yeah, because you had that struggle last week.
It's got a lot of letters, and they're all close together on the keyboard.
Anyway, I got mine shared, so we should be good to go.
I gotta tell this support chick that I gotta take a break. Sure. I'm gonna crack that without your mic on, right? There we go. Yeah, welcome to.
Oh no, I made sure the mic was on. It's Thanksgiving Eve, bitches. Although our Australian friends and friends from elsewhere outside of the United States don't celebrate that shit, but...
What's up, Mr. Whiskers? How are you doing, buddy?
Where are you seeing him?
He's in chat. Rat's in chat, too.
Ah, there he is. I see it.
We're going to be a little more casual today because I'm in the middle of support hell trying to get my new webcam running, and, you know, we're starting early.
Well, let's hit the fucking jingle.
Jingle.
Get this thing popping. What up, Desert Rat? Welcome everybody to episode 63 of the Slightly Above Average Gaming Podcast. We are doing a special Wednesday night episode just due to the holidays and or the holiday. So this was the one time that we. What's that?
Black Friday counts. You can go with holidays.
Yeah, that's true too. Well, Cyber Monday too, baby. But no, we're doing this now, so that way, we've got our weekend free to deal with all the, the family stuff and all the trappings from the holidays. So anyway, appreciate everybody being here. What's up, Sub? How you doing, bud?
Doing good. Did a little bit of Black Friday spending. Got the new mic. Got a new camera because this one is long in the tooth a little bit, but it's not. It's not working, so I'm back on the old one, fighting with it.
Well, you know what does work is the mic that you sent me, sir. And
oh, yeah?
I am extremely grateful for you to send it, that you sent that. I really, really appreciate it. That was something I was kind of struggling with. Mm-hmm. I don't know how this is going to translate sound-wise onto the podcast or like even, the live that we have going on. So, yeah,
definitely,
I'm hoping
it's definitely a little bumpy when you're whacking it. We hear that. But yeah, you sound good. Like when you're hitting your desk, we could hear that on the.
You know what, dude? You realize what you just said, yeah? Jesus Christ! All right. So it basically picks up everything. The one thing I was going to tell you too is I got a notice that I had copyrighted material in my VOD, and the only way it could have been would have been through this mic, and it's picking it up on the speaker. So I got to turn that down a little bit because I have the music playing all the time when I stream, but I don't have it through my ear. I have it through the laptop speakers down pretty low. But it sounds like it was picking it up. Maybe I need to turn down the gain on this thing a little bit, right?
You could. That would do it. Yeah, if you pick up a mixing board, you'll be able to get rid of that and feed it right into your IEMs. You don't have to mess with it.
Well, I'm supposed to be getting that for Christmas. I think that's actually happening. So,
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it, man. Like, just to be able to really just... I want to start like consolidating everything. Like I can't wait to just get rid of some of this stuff. But this is what I'm going to tell you is going to happen. I'm going to get that mixer and I'm not going to be able to get it to work properly for at least a day. Cause that's how new shit happens.
And then, don't call me on Christmas cause I'm busy, but afterwards you call me and we'll go through it together and set it up. It'll be working for you.
Yeah. We'll FaceTime or some shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, like how's your week been, dude?
Just got back from the movies. Took the kids to see Moana 2. If you get the chance to see Moana 2 in theaters, pass on that.
Yeah.
It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. It's the worst movie I've ever spent $130 to see, but it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. but I would have been just as happy watching it at home on the old TV on Disney Plus, because it just wasn't that good, unfortunately.
You know, Disney used to make some real bangers, dude. I mean, like even as far back as like Brave. Brave is one of my favorite Disney movies. I love where they did that. I thought Frozen was really good. I didn't really care too much for Frozen 2 so much, but like they used to really make some bangers, and it just seems like the ones they've made over the last like 5 to 8 years or so have kind of been dog shit.
They've been it's been a lot of dog shit. And you know what? The worst part is the plot's not that bad. It's like Frozen 1, I thought the plot was stupid. And it's like the parents were like the worst people ever. But like Frozen 2, I thought the plot was really good. Music was good throughout. The problem with this one is the music is just bad. Like every song, you're just like, oh my God, why are we singing this? What's the point?
It's hard to replicate that first title track, like that first big track from the first one.
And they tried really hard to like find some inspiration, and it just, honestly, they could have made it like a Disney series and it probably would have been really great. But they made it a movie and it's not good.
They should have done like a Maui series or whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah.
Like just do a series about that dude.
Yeah. So got back from that. It was my youngest's first trip to the movie theaters because pandemic and all that. And then shit's expensive. So didn't. But beyond that, it was good. Getting ready for Thanksgiving. I have Thanksgiving obviously tomorrow. We're going up to the city, so we'll be up there all day. And then we'll be home at some point late in the day. And then Black Friday is put up Christmas tree decorations.
So, you know, I told you I took off the whole week of Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to fucking reconsider doing that next year because, you know, I thought I'd be gaming early. Most days.
You are married, my friend. You are married. For everybody who's not married.
My wife makes that shit like it was kind of how it was when I was a kid at school. It's like you didn't want to be homesick because you still had to do a bunch of shit around the house, at least in my house. So here, we have basically Monday we put up lights on the front of the house. Yesterday we put up the lights and the inflatables, lights on the back of the house because we did the pergola and stuff like that. And this is our first year to do our own lights at this house. We've lived here since 2018.
You never did lights?
What's that?
You never did lights?
We paid somebody to do it. Yeah, we paid. That's a whole other topic of discussion. Okay. But anyway, so, and then today, you know, I woke up, I went and got a workout in. You know, they've been setting up all the Christmas stuff on the inside. I had to get a refill on the propane and stuff like that. And then, like a dumbass, you know, our trash cans are both full right now. So I took a ladder out there and had my daughter step in and try to compact it a little bit in the trash can. Well, it didn't do it enough. So I'm like, well, you know, I weigh a good amount. I could probably do it even more.
Did you go through it?
I fucking busted my ass, bro. Like, and the thing is it was close enough between like two houses, between my house and my neighbor's house, their fucking brick wall, because we do brick all the way around the house. Mm-hmm. So like I scraped my elbow on it because I had to put it out to like keep from like cracking my face on it. I fell on top of the ladder, dude. My daughter's sitting there. She's 12. She's crying. I'm like, and my wife's like, you're a fucking idiot. And I'm like, I just can't fucking win, you know? So anyway. Yeah, so I haven't been able to game at all today, and hopefully you and I are going to be able to at least get a couple hours in on Black Ops 6 today.
Yeah, once we get done this, we got a little bit later start because webcam issues. If you caught the pre-show, were driving me nuts. New stuff. I love when it works until you actually go to use it, and then it's like, nah, no thanks.
So, you know, we talked about this last year, bro. You got to really start conditioning your family and in-laws that you're going to host a holiday. Because you got two kids.
I get Christmas now.
Huh?
I get Christmas now.
Oh, you get Christmas now?
Mm-hmm. They come to us.
Nice.
We put our foot down and said, we're having Christmas on the farm. Y'all can come or not. And since
that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. So my sister and I split it. So like if I host on Thanksgiving Day, which I am, and it's just her, my brother-in-law, and my niece coming over, and then they do like Christmas Eve. So they're doing Christmas Eve at their house, right? Like, but we just told the rest of the family, this is what we're doing. If you want to be there, cool. If not, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I'm actually frying my first turkey tomorrow, so that ought to
Doing
be
it in the kitchen.
No, hell no. I got a fucking fryer. Yeah, I've been seeing those tweets where it's like shows like the cardboard and then the fry kit set up in the kitchen. Yeah, I'm good, bro. I might be a moron, but I'm not that big of a moron. Like that's like seeing fries are done kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Just checking. Cool. Yeah, we're doing. What are we doing? We're doing so closing out dinner at my parents' house, and then doing lunch at my in-laws. And my in-laws have. They usually do a smoked turkey and a regular turkey, both. Because we've got like 20, there's like 20 people that show up. And so it's going to be fun. Going to be an interesting day because the group that we have is very diverse in their political ideologies. And so there are some people who are very upset right now. There are other people that are not very upset right now. And so I don't know who's going to play the role of crazy uncle, but someone is, and it's going to be hilarious to watch. Or it'll be a travesty. One of the two. I'll let you know next week.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that next week. Yeah, see, I don't really have that issue so much for whatever reason. I mean, you know where I live. But anyway, yeah, so it should be interesting. Yeah. You know, and then we're hosting 2 days in a row, by the way, because we got my wife's family on Friday.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. This whole weekend, like Friday, so I'll be starting later tomorrow, like live on Twitch after everybody leaves, of course. And then the same thing on Friday. And then Saturday is pretty much chalked because the in-laws' 50th wedding anniversary celebration. So we're going to celebrate that. So I won't even get to stream at all on Saturday. And then I'll have Sunday, and then I'm out of town Monday through Thursday, and I come back when Warzone Ranked starts. Okay.
You going to hop in right when it starts?
If I could get the right squad, yeah. I mean, like I told you last week, I've got a pretty decent sized group that I'm starting to, kind of play with and vibe with that'll be, good for Ranked. Because, you want to play Ranked with people who actually care about the game. Like they're
hold their own. Like,
that too, but for me, it's more about like if you don't care about Ranked, why would I want to play like or care about the game? Why would I want to play a competitive mode with you?
Exactly.
So
and it's good to have a group that you can vibe with. Like last year I did the Ranked mode through with randos pretty much exclusively. A couple of days hopped in with a few people, but most of the grind was randos, and oh man, it was rough. Could have been worse. But yeah, Ranked will be dropping soon. We've got today, so playlist update for the week. We have Hardpoint 24/7 and Hardcore, so it's camo week. If you have camos to grind, now's the time to grind them.
Double XP today too.
Yeah, double XP through I think the weekend, right?
Yeah, I think Monday. It's through Sunday,
something like that. So it should be a busy week. It should be good. Hopefully that means we'll get through that challenge, that community challenge, and we can all unlock that new gun, which is actually kind of a piece of crap, surprisingly.
Dude, have you used the new stock?
I have. It's nice.
I put that bitch on the XMG yesterday, and I actually ran that in Warzone.
Yeah,
that thing's filthy, dude.
XMG is good.
I mean, it really is. But you can tell though they really adjusted like the mobility with like you run slow as fuck with that thing, dude. As you should.
That's why you have a knife. You can pull your knife out. It's great. I think that has been one of my favorite parts that they've added to Warzone. Is I can just pull out my knife and just go. Like I was playing. So for anybody that hasn't tuned in, Warzone doesn't work for me. Generally, it's very challenging. I get like up to 30% packet loss in every game. Resurgence is worse. And, well, Resurgence is the high end. On big map, I usually get about 5 to 10%, depending on the day and who I'm playing with. But boot camp works. So when I need to play Warzone, when I get the itch to play, I've been stuck in that mode. I was playing with a squad last night, and these guys, like I'm on one end. They get shot at by somebody, turn tail and run. And I have the XM4. I have the ground loot XM4, which I might have that stock in it. I'm not sure, but I just gunned these two guys down who were trying to snipe, and then turned around. The gas is closing in, and so I pull out the knife and I start running. And you don't realize how fast you're running with the knife compared to, like an LMG or a heavier or a sniper or something that's heavier, until you've got the knife out and you're catching and passing them down the road. So, like, one of them didn't make it out. I don't know what he was doing. I'm like, beeline it past them all and ran into a squad that was waiting for us. That was fun.
That's the drawback to being at the back of circle, man. You always risk people gatekeeping you. But yeah, I mean, it's fucking.
You're fast.
Like, you equip that knife, dude, and you can get it. And I wonder if there's a noticeable difference, like if you have that out and you're running Sprinter. Or that's just indefinite though, right?
That's indefinite. But if you
so
stim,
it won't change the speed.
But if you stim,
it's what is it, a 30% boost? 15%?
And then there's I forget the perk, but there's that perk where if you take damage, you get a 15% boost, and if you take damage and you stim, it's 20%. So it's a sizable oomph.
Yeah, excuse me. I actually heard that. I think off the drop shot they were talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
Because and the one thing that they said is like they were praising the developer, whoever decided to put that in, because they actually thought ahead about whether it's stacked or not.
Yeah. And they designed how it's stacked. Really,
yeah, like the way they did it. So like they had a lot of praise for that. And I mean, I think that's cool. What crap, see, so you're not even really running a lot of Warzone. So I was going to ask you what perk packages you're running right now, but like I told you last week,
I don't have enough perks unlocked because I prestige recently.
What prestige did you make it to?
So I'm on third. I'm about now. I'm like level 40 something on third prestige.
I should hit into 7th prestige this weekend. Like that's kind of the goal. Well, I just play a lot, dude. It's my only hobby.
That's how it is.
So, but it's been going a lot slower because I've been playing a lot more multiplayer like solo lately, which fucking blows balls, like I've said last week. So when I do that, I don't play the objective modes because I'm not going to sit there and go try to get the objective, as mentioned before, while you sit back and try to get your fucking long shots or whatever, and I'm dying 30 times. Like, I'm not interested in that. So I just run TDM and kill confirmed, and I just don't really get, like, I'm getting my kills. Like, that's not a problem, but I'm not getting, like, a lot of XP, per se, for that, because you don't get the opportunity to get as many kills as you do on, like, hardpoint or, like, domination or control or whatever, like that. So it's been kind of a slow crawl to me. And I've been losing a lot, which has been pissing me off too.
Yeah. You don't win as much, even when you're playing, easy, good objective modes. It's hard to play. It's hard to win by yourself. Like, you have to have teammates that are competent, or you have to be so good you can just carry it on your own, which, I mean, not to speak for you, but I'm not good enough to carry the whole team on my back every time.
I can't do it every time either. I usually try to be in the top 3, and that's a lot of matches I am. I don't want to say every match, but I'm typically in the top 3 a whole lot. But, I'm not that guy, pal.
Fair. Completely fair. Yeah, no, but the game's been pretty good. I haven't had any issues outside of Warzone doing its typical bullshit. Haven't played multiplayer ranked because I don't enjoy it. I don't find it a fun mode. go back to seeing, go back and visit the conversation we just had about random teammates and winning, because, you have to win to get, to get RP, right? So if you don't win, you could be the best player in the lobby. And I've done that repeatedly, been the best player in the lobby by a mile, and I'm carrying, cement shoed wall lickers all the way to the end. And it's like, forget it. So, yeah. But yeah, been playing a good amount of Black Ops, been enjoying that. Excited to try Prop Hunt. Did you see that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've never really been into that. Like, listen, dude, here's the thing I want to explain to you. You probably already know this. When it comes to like my gaming and stuff, there's no fucking chill in me, dude. I don't like that kind of shit for fun or like the goddamn boot camp and stuff like that. Those party modes, I don't ever screw with those, because to me, if it doesn't count, I don't want to do it. Like I just have
fair.
I'm usually grinding for something, but I know a lot of people think it's fun. Did you play it in the OG Call of Duties that it was in?
Enjoyed. It was always a fun mode to have. It's one of those modes if you're just cracking beers and you've got a squad and you can talk shit to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Great mode for that. A lot of fun. Couldn't play it all day, right? Couldn't play it all day, but end of the night, hop in. Kind of like there's a couple, those party modes. You just hop in and play a little bit, because end of the night you're too tired to focus and play well, but you're not quite ready to turn it in. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you want to keep gaming, but you're not willing to sacrifice like everything that you accomplished on the evening. Dude, I've been playing Warzone. Like, we had 3 wins the other night, and then another one the night after that. So I think I'm up to like 7 on big map so far. So, I mean, at that rate, I'm hoping to fucking double my yearly win total from last year, which was dog shit. It's just been fun. I've been able to play with people. I'm playing with dudes who got like a 3.42, a 3.13, close to a 2, and I'm at like a 1.4 or some shit, something like that. And like just being able to squad up with those guys and play. And yeah, I'm having like some blender matches, it happens, but overall I'm able to hold my own and stuff like that and still have a good time. And I don't automatically know what the night's going to look like. Like I'm not like, oh shit, this is going to be a dog shit night. Like it's, the game is just, it's that. And see, so like that to me right there is why I'm kind of like not as like fired up about a lot of the issues that are in Warzone specifically right now, because for me, I can log on and just play with my friends. Like to me, that's the most important thing. And I don't feel like I'm getting, punished because I'm doing well, so I can overlook a lot of shit. I know a lot of people can't. By the way, did you see J God's tweet about that?
I read it yet.
Oh, there he goes.
There we go.
No video.
What the hell is going on?
Wait, it's about to come back, I think. But yeah, J God had that tweet, and he had like a long list of like things that were issues that were being pointed out. And I mean, I know the, stop complaining crowd probably going to fucking, have a fit, but every one of those things that are mentioned in there will make the game better for literally everyone that plays it. So, yeah, I bookmarked that tweet. If you want to go over that, we can for sure.
Hold on, I gotta rejoin in.
Nope, looks like I'm solo. This is now the J007 TV show. Just saying. But no, I mean, like I said, overall, I feel like the game's kind of fun. I mean, there are some issues with it. Obviously, the lighting, which I did update my my brightness in the game, so I changed that, and I didn't really notice a huge issue the other day. Obviously, I'll keep an eye on that. Like the Gulag doesn't seem as dark to me as it usually is. But yeah, welcome back, my dude.
Welcome back. Glad to be here.
It's just fucking one of them days, ain't it?
Dude, it's one of them days for sure. So, cool. Glad to be back. But yeah, no, what were we talking about?
J God's tweet.
Yeah, J God's tweet. So, Yeah, he had a pretty good list. I didn't get a chance to look through it yet. Did you look through it?
Yeah, I have it up right now. I can go over it real quick. We can kind of stop me when you want to talk about something. But
Let's do it.
his first section is quality of life missing. So visual shake on the weapons, in-game challenge tracking gone, favoriting attachments and combat records, which you and I have talked about that. The combat record, that needs to be implemented like a proper one, not the leaderboard nonsense that we have. But like, so that is, that's important. And one of the things too, I think quality, I don't know if this fits in the quality of life thing, but like I was talking about last week. So my second prestige, I unlocked Cold-Blooded, permanently unlocked it. And it is not in Warzone. If I was less than a 41, because that's where it unlocks. I think it was like it unlocks at like 41 in your level. It did it like the permanent unlocks. I don't think are showing, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know if it's just perk related or not. Yeah, I mean, they're trying to implement that back
because when I prestiged my gunfighter worked.
Maybe it might just be the perks.
Could be the perks. Yeah. That would make sense since the perks are all messed up. You probably unlocked the version of it for multiplayer. It's probably it's probably not the same like line item.
It's you know what? It's in a different slot. If I remember correctly, it's not a first slot perk in Warzone where it's a first slot perk. Yeah, it's a first slot perk in multiplayer. So just some of these things that, they've got to kind of fix and tweak or whatever. But like, he's talking about networking. So network is causing significant amount of ghost bullets. Snipers are more visible with red mist without hit marker. Yeah, that's kind of felt a little weird. Kill cams are more useless than normal, after you and I had that conversation a long time ago about how the kill cam isn't an actual, it's not exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I don't even care so much about the kill cam. Some desync issues, and then audio is still terrible, although I feel like the audio is miles better than it was on launch.
It is. I think part of the problem is we don't fully understand how it's all worked out and lined up. But yeah, I agree that a lot of it's not working properly.
Bullet velocity's too low for ARs and LMGs. And you know what? I would also add for snipers too. Because I think that's where a lot of that ballistic issue I was talking about last week come from. Like, because I'm not like just and I need to go back and I saw a new build actually that Alex posted off of Warzone Loadouts community. I'm going to try that and see, because I noticed it had it was either overpressured or high velo rounds. So I'm going to try that for the LR762 when I run some Warzone again. So that's on there. Slide to fire times are terrible for Modern Warfare 2 and 3 weapons, which I got to be honest, man, I'm actually shocked that those weapons are even anywhere close to being viable. Like even the static is a good SMG still. Like,
yeah.
My buddy Riddick is still running the static. He's running the D tier and the static because he hates the multiplayer, so he won't play it. Like
fair.
Those guns typically for the previous title have not been viable for long at all after launch.
Yeah. Well, they usually kill those things about 2 weeks after integration. They did that last year, and they did that in Caldera too. I remember we got integrated, and then we got, I think it was like the second pass that they really nerfed a lot of them hard. But if you remember, they still kept like the Cold War AK around for a couple of months after Caldera launched. The thing was still good.
Yeah, I remember that with the axial arm. I think it was the axial arms 3x
times optic.
Sight. Yeah, that was a fun gun to run. I liked running that AK also.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's weird that they're still using those, like that those guns are still viable. I mean, good for people that didn't buy Black Ops 6, but it's just prolonging the time when they have to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I would think game wise, it would make it more simpler if they had less that they had to worry about balancing and stuff like that. I mean, dude, there's more. I feel like there's more weapons in Warzone right now than there ever has been.
I'm going to tell you what the problem with the balancing is and why they have so many issues, is that they aren't setting a baseline of where theoretical TTK should be. They don't have one. It moves all the time. Like every time they do a big weapon pass, and they tend to just constantly make it faster, right? Like that's their tendency, is they make it a little bit faster and a little bit faster and a little bit faster. Like every season the guns get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, until all of a sudden, we're at 600 milliseconds on an AR.
Right.
What we need, I think, is for them to set up a baseline where they say, all right, look, here's how fast we want ARs to kill. And then everything is plus or minus, 5% of that, right?
Would you say depending on what it does? So like we've talked about, like where you have your like low recoil guns, a little bit less damage per bullet, high recoil guns, more damage per bullet. Are you talking about like a range to accommodate for those kind of things?
No. Just the theoretical math of if you hit every shot to, call it the combination shot, whatever you want to call it, however they want to judge it. And have just a theoretical TTK that they want ARs to be at. Have one for LMGs. Have one for SMGs at their ideal ranges, right? And then and then move things around. So like, and in my opinion, an AR should kill in about 750 to 800 milliseconds at its farthest damage range, like at the last drop off, and it should probably not kill any faster than that. Of course, like that should be its range. And then SMGs should kill in a close range and then drop off, right? So that you don't have these SMGs like unless the SMG is going to be a specialty one where it's like it kills faster than it kills slower than other SMGs up close, but faster than ARs at range. But you balance that with bullet velocity or other aspects so that you can get, so that it fits like a sniper support niche, for example, right? That's kind of how sniper supports tend to go, right? So it's got mobility of an SMG, but it can reach out a little bit farther than most other SMGs. But like most SMGs should run out of gas at like 20 meters. And then you look at ARs, right? They should pick up at like 30, 35 meters is where their like sweet spot should be. And then, you can have this in between, right? But they should just sit there and say, all right, I think if you're running an SMG, you should kill in 600 milliseconds. And if you're running an AR, you should be closer to like 800, give or take. And then, throw the sniper support somewhere in the middle, but have the range fall off at like 40 meters. But they set the baseline, right? And then it's like, okay, then you can look at individual weapons to say, well, this one is faster firing, so it's more forgiving, so you'll hit more shots, so you're more likely to get closer to this theoretical ideal. So let's let that one have a little bit more, a little bit less damage, right? So that it's not, rewarded. But then here's one that's more difficult to control and slower firing, like the EM2. Let's let that one be a little bit faster killing if you hit your shots, but because it's so slow firing, if you miss, it's devastating to the TTK.
Are they still doing that nonsense? You know how they made the adjustment last year? I call it nonsense. It's not actually, but where like remember they changed the damage values for like the multipliers on like where on the body you were hitting. Are they as simple? Because remember last year they simplified that, right? Compared to previous iterations. And I'm wondering if if they stayed on that track or if they went back to what it was prior to Modern Warfare 3.
That's a good question. Double check True Game data. Tony would know. I don't think that they've gotten super complex. But it's kind of one of those, it's hard to tell, you know what I mean? No. Yeah, according to True Game data, you get legs. On most ARs, you get the legs, arms, chest, stomach, and neck. And stomach kind of goes back and forth depending on the gun. And then you have head. And the headshot's not super crazy.
So it's the same then?
Yeah. but I think the lower torso, like stomach and stuff, depending on the gun, the damage values either go with the chest or go with the head. Go with the legs, which I think is good in a lot of ways because it leads to some more consistencies. If you shoot center mass, right, you're going to get, one TTK. If you are hitting headshots, you get another. If you hit, low, you get a slower TTK. I have a clip somewhere of like why it's so ridiculous because if you remember for a long time, throwing knives were one shot kill to the chest and up, right? And I had a throwing knife. I had a play where I jumped a guy, I hit him with my throwing knife, dead center. Like we were close. It went dead center to the chest, and he didn't go down, and he killed me. And my first thought was, "You cheating SOB! I don't know what you're doing, but there ain't no way." So of course I recorded it and then watched it back because that's the reasonable thing to do. And his pinky on carrying his weapon transitioned in front of the body and it hit his finger. You could see the knife hit the finger, and it was a lower arm shot, and it didn't kill him.
Well, dude, I had one last night. I hit a guy inside of 10 meters with a combat axe, and I only cracked for blue.
Skill issue on that one.
I fucking hit him. How's that a skill issue, bro? Like, what the fuck? But no, like, go see J God's tweet. I don't want to like bog everybody down with all this shit. I mean, like, there's obviously, we all know a lot of the issues that are still with the game. There are things that need to be fixed. I will reshare the tweet so you can see it if you don't see his. But I mean, it's a pretty comprehensive list, and these are, again, things that will make the game good for everyone. So
yeah, I'm looking through it right now. I mean, there's the highlights we all know. Cheaters are still cheaters are still cheating. Weapon leveling is still slow. The hit marker damage is the weirdest bug I think I've ever come across in this game, and that says a lot because we've had some weird things. But it's like it's throwing headshot. It's not headshots, but it looks like headshots. It's throwing double hit markers for most of your hits sometimes. But they're not like, but what it's actually doing is it's throwing the hit marker like twice and then they like resolve back together. It's so weird. It wasn't Freud, I think, on Twitter did a video showing it. But then when you get a headshot and you're getting this glitch, it's actually a triple marker. It's so weird.
Right.
But it definitely, like, especially if you're attentive and you're the kind of person that plays and you kind of have a feel for things, right? Like, a lot of pros, they'll get a feel for how how they're doing with somebody. They listen to the sounds, they hear the head marker sounds, they know they're doing more damage. And so you kind of get in that feel, and getting the hit markers that aren't true can really throw off your understanding of how much damage you've dealt to somebody, right? So it determines whether or not you're going to push it. Like if I'm hitting somebody and I see a lot of double hit markers, I know he's going to be one shot, and he might just be broken.
That's the thing. Yeah. They say in video games and Battle Royale in general, he's one shot is the biggest lie ever told. But I'm going to say this, I watch a lot of the comp Warzone guys, Brax, DJ Moss, those guys, Evan. When they call one shot, motherfuckers one shot, dude, like legit. And I'm like, I still can't tell. So I try not to say one shot. I'll be like either weak, crack for orange, or I crack blue, because I've had one or two instances where I'm like, this guy's got to be one shot, and it took more than one shot and got my guy killed. So
well, and don't forget, I'm not quick doing fix. That. So one of the perks, quick fix, that's a good one. Right now, because you put a plate in and it starts going back. You're in 2 seconds, you're getting your health back. So if you
what's the one where you get rezzed faster too? I know we went over the perks last week. Yeah, I got to picked up in a hurry. Start running that again.
And you put your plate in, right? You start generating that health, and it drops it to 2. It is 6 seconds, I think, right now before your health regens, like starts regenning, and it takes like 3 seconds. So it's like a 9-second regen, which in the middle of a gunfight is everything. But on that one, you start healing, and you start healing quick. And so you'll be back up. Your health, you get one plate in, you're back up to 100 and 125, right? 150,
something like that. Yeah.
So you are not one
Silencer asked the question is like how it's different on the torso and upper body and arms. Like, I guess that I assume that's a question. But it just is. There's different multipliers.
So Modern Warfare 2 had. So Warzone 1 had different multipliers. They had arms. They had chest. They had arms. They had stomach. Right. Caldera introduced. I believe it was Caldera introduced the neck multiplier. And then in Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2.0, they kind of went crazy because you had different multipliers or different base damage values for lower arms, so elbow to hand. Upper arm, shoulder to elbow, chest, neck, head, lower torso, stomach, upper legs, which is hips to knees, and lower legs, knees to feet. You could have different damage values at all of those spots, and the early ones did. And then they threw in the secret change, which was guns did different damage values to armor versus their body. So armor had a multiplier to it in terms of damage. It was super bizarre.
Yeah, it just seems like things work a little better when they just try to simplify it, and it's not so complicated or whatever. But in thinking about, here's how my mind works. Sometimes it's like you ever see a rock skip across the lake. That's how my shit works. So you're talking about quick fix, and I'm thinking about what slot that's in. And then I'm also thinking about whether Ghost is viable or not. And then I'm also thinking about whether that fucking SAM turret, have you seen that thing do a damn thing on anything in the air? I haven't either. It's worthless.
What the heck does it do?
So that's how, I'm thinking
what's it
about
for?
These things.
Does it shoot down streaks? Like if I throw up if I throw an airstrike on you, will it shoot it down?
Probably not, dude. Probably not those, but I would think like UAVs, counter UAVs. I did see it shoot at a not a care package, but a mobile buy station. I did see it do that yesterday, but I don't know. I think I died before I got to see it finished, but I saw the fucking laser. Okay. But fair. Yeah, no, Silencer's right. But no, that's kind of like my wife gets so frustrated at me for that right there. And it might be, maybe I do have ADHD. I don't know. But we start talking about perks and then I'm like, all right, well, the UAV, then I'm like, that's how I got to that SAM turret. But anyway, I hope that, that they're able to continue making the adjustments because, the game is better than it was a week ago. If you're able to actually play it,
it is definitely
better
improving.
For me. Yeah, but it's still got a long way to go. And, I know a lot of the Iceman Isaac is pretty frustrated right now and stuff like that. And some of the others, and I get it. And, one of the things that I'll say that I've noticed at a couple of the different competitors, and I'm not going to mention their names that I normally watch, their fucking passion for this is gone.
Well, I don't want to say they got rug pulled, but it feels like a rug pull. And I'll tell you why it feels that way for a lot of people. Modern Warfare 2 was bad for most people. They did not like the game over time, right? Even people who might have enjoyed the game didn't play it at the rate that would justify them keeping things the way they had it. All right? That's not a slight, that's not a argument. It is facts, right? The player count went down tremendously. So after that, and there was a lot of, let's put it this way. There were a lot of creators who sold out for it, I'll say, and pushed it and supported it and encouraged Modern Warfare 2 / Warzone 2.
Them care packages hit different, bro.
And as a result, it was kind of, how do I put it? It kind of burned people, I think, in a lot of ways that they're not happy. A lot of people are not happy that went down that way, and that they bought and invested in Modern Warfare 2, and it turned out to be not the game they were kind of led to believe it was. And so Modern Warfare 3 comes out, and it is well on its way to fixing a lot of the problems, DLC and other issues aside. And people were very excited about it. And I think people were very, very, very excited on the heels of what changed from MW2 to MW3 to Black Ops 6, Omni movement, the promises of Omni movement and the old Prestige and all of these things that we were excited about. And we heard, we're talked up and we're in a good spot. And we're, with very few exceptions, they were delivered on in Black Ops 6. Black Ops 6 is a great game. It delivered on pretty much everything they said it would. A few things here and there that need adjustment, but the game delivered.
It's the most fun multiplayer I've played in probably 6 years.
You know what hasn't delivered? Warzone.
It's a constant, like we talked about last week in the title of the episode. Although I said 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. The title was 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But you get the point, right? Like, they go through and they make these changes and make the game better, and then it's only good for about 3 months, and then we have to start this whole fucking cycle again.
And I'm going to tell you this, though. I think I've heard some people complaining about this this committee, this COD committee that's going to manage.
People are complaining about that?
I've heard a little bit. We are right now in the exact reason that we need something like that. We need and I said this last week, we need an overarching idea of what Call of Duty is going to be, specifically Warzone. Because let's be clear, Warzone is, they could always produce a new game every year and people would play it, but Warzone carries over, right? So you're not going into it understanding that you're going to start over and relearn a new game. And that's kind of how COD has been for a long time, right? You buy Modern Warfare, you play Modern Warfare, Black Ops comes out, Black Ops plays differently. It's a different game. Fundamentally, they're all the same. But when you get into it, and the feel of it, the look of it, the nitty gritty, it's a different game. That's not going to fly anymore, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on how you see it. But you cannot reset every year. And that's, I think, I commented on one of Iceman's posts today. I think that's what we're dealing with, is you have Call of Duty, who had its, had these 2 studios starting this development, probably, they probably got into it about the same time with one another. And they based, and they took the Modern Warfare 2 engine and they branched off and they started making 2 different games. And you had Modern Warfare 3, which delivered a lot of stuff in Warzone that we as the players wanted. All right? That we liked, that we approved of, that a lot of people felt were doing really well. And because they were so divergent, they're not able to bring that stuff into the new game, right? It doesn't, because they'd copied it so far in the past. And in fact, when they copied it and started working on Omni Movement, it was almost certainly an early version of Modern Warfare 2, right? They took Modern Warfare 2, copied the base of the game over, and then built on top of it from that, instead of MW3, which, if you want my opinion, they were a lot of the changes that we got in MW3 or in MW2 towards the latter half of that development cycle probably were developed originally for MW3, and they had to bring them forward. They had to have those things in there. And so it's one of those things where you have to streamline this development, where you can't have two teams diverge off of a base game and have this happen. Because this is how you get a game that just is not great. It's how you get these problems, these missing links, these missing pieces. And it's hugely problematic, right? And it's why I think a lot of people are frustrated with Warzone, is because, once again, we've had a lot of stuff we liked in Warzone, and it's all been, yanked out, and problems that we thought we'd fixed 18 months ago are back.
Yeah. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back in a lot of ways. And I'll say like Modern Warfare 3 era of Warzone is probably the closest. I'm not saying it was equal to, but the closest as far as fluidity and everything else to the original Warzone that we have had to this point, including where we are now. Because there are still things like now, as you mentioned, the why of it, right? Like we've taken steps back about being able to play it and run, being able to reload and sprint, being able to instantly hit boxes when they open, those kind of things. But, there's no doubt in my mind they're going to fix those things. It's just kind of what happens with the next iteration, I guess. We'll see if it's the same. I mean, we don't even know what the next title is going to be yet. I have suspicions, but I'm not sure.
Well, the rumor mill says it's an Infinity Ward title, and it's probably a Modern Warfare title again.
Infinity Ward?
Mm-hmm.
See, I heard it's a Black Ops sequel to Black Ops 2, which if 2 years of Treyarch, I can do that. And I know a lot of people don't like Treyarch, and that's fine because this kind of brings me to the conversation I had with my developer friend yesterday, who actually works on this game. Just how things are so much different, like not just mechanically and movement wise from title to title, but like art wise as well. Like, the environmental art and things like that. And, it was, I think you got to sit in on that conversation, at least hear
a little bit. Yeah.
As far as like, they at the beginning of each cycle, they're given I guess what it's called, like an art Bible. And I have to assume that would apply to everything else too, right? Like all the other departments, like whoever's in charge of the movement, the weapons, those kind of things, like set guidelines. And I'm going to also assume that those things will now come from that committee or come from the department heads. And then if it's anything that's too innovative, it has to go to the committee. I would think that's how it would be structured. But that conversation I had with him was pretty interesting about just, the color palettes and everything else. And he was telling me that when they were working on Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, they had to watch a lot of movies like No Country for Old Men, Sicario, which makes sense because of the Santa Sana border crossing map. I mean, if you think about it,
they had a lot of missions from the campaign set in that area too. So it's kind of hitting that look and feel. So it's kind of like what that refers to. So for me in the development that I did, we had a design document is what it would be called. It was kind of like, what's the look? How is it going to look and feel? What is it that we want it to look like? And how do we want the game or the product for us? How do we want the product to mesh with the rest of the site, with the rest of the things that we had to offer? So what should buttons look like? What should they do? How should you as the user interact with it? It was kind of like a baseline. And then there would be, good Lord.
I think our content's offline too on Twitter.
No, it's back, but now I'm off. Oh my
Jesus
Lord!
Christ.
I'm gonna give Riverside an absolute earful here shortly. They're just a disaster today.
Well, I don't know what the hell's going on, and I mean, we had issues last week too. So, but they were on my end, not yours.
Yeah, now we crashed. Let me.
Did the whole thing crash?
Yeah.
Fuck me, dude.
Let's see. Let me see.
Yeah, it dropped like 6 minutes ago. Dude, we had 145 people in there. Well, we're back for part 2 of the episode 63 of the Slightly Above Average Gaming Podcast. I'm J007TV, joined as always by Sub1KD.
We'll merge this all together on the Spotify channel. So apologize for the technical disruptions, everybody.
It's been a bit of a day for that.
It's been a day for sure. But yeah, we were talking about the art direction and like. So your guy was he was referring to like the kind of like they call it an art Bible, which would basically be they sit down and they would describe the look and the feel and like how should the levels look and they want a cohesive feel of the game, right? Like they want certain things should always feel a certain way, they should look a certain way, they should have certain color palettes and certain tonalities. And so products that I worked on were kind of very similar, but then there's probably there's probably a subsection of like an overall setup that they had where they had just a lot of how it's what's the way to put it. They would just have like a whole lot of direction of like, this is how the whole game should be, right? And they'll start this early. They'll start writing this early, right? Like this is where they make some of the first decisions that they make, and they'll come back and they'll say, all right, the art Bible will have this, it'll have that, we'll have all these other aspects to it, and so when they come up with, this primary directive, that's what they lean on for everything. So once that's set in stone, like they're not going to change it for much. And so it's important to like stick to it, but it's also important like it's one of those things they have to get right. Like if they come up with a direction to the game that's not on the level, right? It's not going to fly. And I think part of the problem is when you have a game like Black Ops 6, right? And you look at what they're building it off of, they would have sat down during the early parts of MW2, I'm sure, and decided how they want to change the MW2 look and feel, right? And how do they, how they came up, that's where they would have sat down and probably come up with the Omni movement idea and things they want to change and improve. And they would have come up with this whole plan, right? This is how we're going to change it. And then they would have, and then from there it's development time and off you go. Meanwhile, the MW3 team would have done the same thing, and they would have approached it clearly in the let's take MW2 and just improve everything in it instead of replace it. Right? That's why MW3 felt so good, because they took everything we didn't like, well, most everything we didn't like in the movement and the functionality of MW2, and they improved it and made it feel more like Warzone 1, right? The MW 2019 engine versus the MW2 engine. But you have these two teams now working separately on two different design documents, and I guarantee they're not talking to each other. And so that's what that's what this overarching committee has to do, is they have to find a way to prevent that from like interfering with keeping alive the things that people like and the changes that people make that are good.
Right. Yeah, no, we'll see how that committee works. Maybe the next iteration of Warzone we'll be able to actually see some results if that committee thing is actually true. I mean, it's been rumored. We've seen a couple different sources, talking about it. So, if it's true, which I hope it is, it makes sense. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a better quality game. I mean, but also too, what we have to also understand is when these games come out, since the beginning of Call of Duty, there have been bugs and issues early on at launch. It just is, and it's like that for a lot of games. For most games that I've played, there's always some kind of issue.
Do you remember in Modern Warfare 2, specifically with a problem in Terminal, where you could take the Joker and you could prime the Joker, and then when you died, it would fire off straight to the ground? No. So what do you think we have broken guns, broken stuff now and game breaking bugs? So there was a point where in MW2, if you took the Joker and you basically like, I'm trying to remember, but it would be something like you would aim it and then you would like swap weapons without releasing ADS, and it would kind of put it away. And so you'd be like in third person holding the Joker, and you could run around at full speed. And when you let it go, it would just explode. Terminal was a disaster from this thing. And it was one of those things like, as soon as you let go of ADS, it would go off. So if you shot somebody, they blew up. So you
weren't getting the kill.
It would blow up. So you'd have somebody running into their spawn carrying a Joker, and if you shoot them,
suicide vest,
they blow up, right? But if you don't shoot them, they run up to you and blow up. And you'd have 12 people with Jokers running around the map, blowing themselves up nonstop. It lasted like 2 weeks.
Dude,
so the idea that we're in some new phase of broken shit that we've never experienced before is an absolute farce. because this was normal for Call of Duty.
Well, again, kind of like we talked about this, like I think it's just a snowball or a compounding effect. So when you have several issues, you have a cheating epidemic, which evidently, I mean, I haven't ran into it, so I can't really confirm myself, but evidently once you get to like a certain rank in multiplayer ranked, fucking like it is absolutely infested with 4-stack cheating teams. I mean, like Nade Shot was losing his shit the other day. Like, I don't know if you saw that video, but like, you know, he's in crim lobbies and dealing with that kind of shit. The number one player on ranked, I think, was just removed because they were a cheater.
Yep.
Like,
it's all that.
You know, so
screw that guy.
So yeah, you factor in those issues, people disconnecting, cheaters in rank, cheaters in Warzone, like matchmaking that sometimes is not great or favorable or whatever. And dude, it's just a perfect storm of things. And I think that has a lot to do with sentiment, you know, of the community in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Well, I think too, a lot of problems stem from a lot of the issues that we're having stem directly from Call of Duty just not communicating enough and not always being on top of some of this stuff as much as they should. And the anti-cheat is number one right now.
It's like, dog water, dude.
We are not putting enough resources into this thing. And I think it's interesting to look at like Riot, right? Like, so Riot just did a whole, put out a challenge, 100K if you can break their anti-cheat. Like, if you can do it, like, that's phenomenal, right? Like, what a deal. And that is something, look, and bounties like that are something that are really common in the tech industry. Like big companies will often have a bounty. If you come to them and you say, hey, I found an exploit, it does this, that, and the other thing, and you can prove it, like, they'll pay you. And it is not uncommon to get hired. Like, if you find a couple of these things, like, to get, like, they'll come at you and be like, hey, you want to be on payroll? And I don't see that. I'll say this, I didn't see that from Activision at all. And I wonder what is going on in the Microsoft realm of things, because they have to, I mean, this is a $70 billion purchase. You don't, it's not like they bought, it's not like something they can just write off, right? This would not be a write-off thing. This is a you fix it thing. So I'm curious to see going forward how Microsoft handles this cheating thing. Because I think where we're at is we have to stop relying on anti-cheat programs and start pressuring Microsoft to integrate a gaming OS, a gaming partition on your drive that basically turns it into an Xbox, where it's like there is authorized software, there is authorized hardware, and everything else doesn't work.
And it needs to run all the fucking time, from the time you press the button to turn it on to the time you turn it off. And if that doesn't have priority over everything else running, then it just, your shit won't work. Like,
well, it would be like safe mode, right? Like when you boot up, like, do you want to, or you want to play a game? It's like, hey, do you want to, and you can even tailor it, say you only need that for online games. Like, if so, because I know that a lot of games have a very good, strong modding community, and they like to do a lot. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to that world. I mean, and there's good stuff that comes out of modding, right? Like, look at Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike was a mod of Half-Life that was so successful, the company bought them.
Which, isn't Valorant a mod of Counter-Strike?
I don't know.
I think it is. It's just basically a combination of Counter-Strike and fucking Apex with the abilities.
I don't know if it's a
like
mod, but I'd have to look into that. But
I'd be curious.
You get tons of mods. Like, I remember modding GTA 3, and you'd be playing as a clown or a whale or something, whatever, all kinds of goofy stuff. But it was never online, right? So it's all So like, I can even split the hair and say, if you're going to be online, you have to be in game mode. Like, online multiplayer's in game mode. Everything else, whatever, right? If you want, as a company, like, you can do that, allow that sort of stuff. But I think we're at the point where anti-cheats generally speaking, are not going to be as successful without some sort of partition.
Yeah, I mean, I thought when you first said that to me a while back, I thought that was a great idea. You have to do something, right? Like,
Yeah.
you have to do something. And, you know, and here's the thing too. So, you know, we talk about cheating. If you couple that with the matchmaking side of it, can you see why the higher skilled players are pissed off all the time? Because not only are they getting hoed by the matchmaking, they're in fucking, the cheaters are up in their lobbies all the time. So it's kind of like I think it was Tactical Brit posted a thing. He's like, I've run like 4 matches. It might have been Tactical Brit, but like 4 matches being stream sniped by a quad stack of cheaters. Like, come on, man. Like, yeah. I would be pissed off all the time too, or I just want to fucking quit the game, at that point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, extreme sniping and some of these other issues are kind of it's a little specific to popular streamers, right?
But it's the cheating aspect. It was a whole squad of cheaters doing it.
But they're out specifically. I mean, they're out to harass him specifically, right? And I think that's a distinction, right? People that run into people that are out to harass them specifically and target them as individuals are going to have a very different experience than the average person, even a person of higher skill. Because, we know people that have pretty high KDs, and we play with them. And they don't run into cheaters, I think, if they're not in ranked, nearly as much as some of these more popular content creators. And it's simply because they're not being targeted, right? So it goes back to the random chance. And, again, I'll say this, the random chance of running into a streamer is into a cheater, depending on how many cheaters there are, is probably, I don't know. It's not as high. It's not something that a normal person should run into every single game. However, like I said, people that are targeted will see it way more often because they're being targeted, right? They're being sought after. So I think the problem gets amplified, but it's still a problem.
Well, okay, so then you look at it like the other aspect of this is like, I've seen over the last 3 weeks several people that are top 250, like legit top 250, and Warzone, World Series of Warzone competitors on LAN being shadow banned. Whiskers mentioned somebody here below, like I guess Blue X got shadow banned today. Like, people are getting shadow banned because the system's not doing a lot about the actual cheating, and it's relying on AI and fucking like people like you and I that work 9 to 5s to be able to report a cheater. Like, the
shadow ban system needs to be reworked, and I think because that was the original anti-cheat, right? You get reported enough, you get shadow banned, and then you get limited matchmaking. And then
it's a damn shadow ban, dude.
And then they eventually release you, right? And then once in a while they would ban 600,000 accounts and say, "Look at what we did." And they'd
it was 19,000 this week. Meanwhile, 25,000 other accounts were created. Because now they brought it back for the PC pass. You can get your first 14 days for free or for like $1 or some shit. Yeah. Like, did you see that?
Yeah, Warzone's also free. I don't know. It's they got to get a handle on it. They have to get a handle on it. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah. So, I think that's part of why, like I mentioned earlier in the episode, I don't know if it was before or after we got cut off, but like, a lot of the competitive players that I watch are just really losing a lot of the passion that I saw them have last year. And also, too, I think part of it is you couple all the things we just mentioned with now the tournament formats are like fucking kill races. And those are a snooze fest to watch, bro. I have zero interest, and they don't like playing them. No. Most of them don't like playing kill races. They want to play in custom lobbies against the people they're going to be playing against,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It was just kind of disappointing to me this week watching a couple of these dudes, and I'm just like, fuck, man.
I'm not going to lie. I think the integration has been a disappointment. And I was thinking about it this morning. And here's the thing with these integrations. They've done This is the sixth one, right?
Yep.
You have Cold War, you have Launch, then you have Cold War, Vanguard, integrations, the Modern Warfare 2, which I don't know if we want to call. Yeah, I guess this is the fifth one. The fifth actual integration. Fourth or fifth one. I don't know. Whatever. The only one that I think we can look to and say, oh, that one went really smoothly was MW2 to MW3. There wasn't a problem with that integration. It went really well. Season 1 Reloaded was a problem, but the integration itself went really well. I think it was the fact that the team built the game from start to finish without interrupting it. And I think you look back at every other integration we've had now, every single one, and they have made major changes shortly before they launch. If you look at nice refill, I got to get a servant to do that for me too. But
dude, I got that shit. It's almost like fucking Uber Eats or DoorDash. I just text her. It's
but
great. That's why you have kids, guys.
But yeah, no, it's like Cold War was never supposed to integrate with Warzone. Disaster, right? Vanguard, we were supposed to move Warzone to the Vanguard engine.
That's why we were going to get that FOV slider too, remember?
Yep. They talked about it and then they quietly deleted that from all their posts because they couldn't do it. So they had to change course late in the system, late in the cycle. Integration was a disaster.
Yep.
MW2, launch of a new game, disaster because NVIDIA changed their drivers right before launch. Like 2 days before, I think they launched.
Is that where all those disconnects came from?
Most of them stemmed from the driver.
Jeez, oh Pete, man.
So you notice that NVIDIA worked with Call of Duty this time with their new driver, so it was ready. So props to them
as long as
for
they
not screwing it up.
So
but MW3,
I have no problem with that. Like if people make mistakes, companies make mistakes, fine. Just learn from them and stop repeating them.
MW3, great integration. It was flawless for the most part. A few little things here and there, but no big deal. Like Warzone just worked. It was great. It was a huge improvement over what we'd played right before. Black Ops 6 yanked the map. In the last year of development, 4 years of development, they yanked the map and tell them to start over. And then they have to kind of jury rig Urzikstan to work in the meantime. Disaster.
And that's
Terrible
not the first Treyarch inspired map they yanked, by the way.
Yeah, wasn't there one the map
Firestorm? There was the Fire Team map. There was that was inspired, supposedly it was in the Ural Mountains. That's where the BR map was supposed to be.
Yeah, and it was like they used it for Outlast or something, right?
Yeah, some crazy shit. It was a fire team mode. Remember, it was like the 4-man fire team mode where it was almost like a large scale TDM and stuff like that. We played it a little bit.
I didn't play it.
I did, and we thought that it was going to be because they had a lot of the similar mechanics for plating and getting your weapons and stuff like that. So we thought that's what we were going to get, and nothing ever came of it. And then they did Verdansk 84, which I know they didn't make that decision like we've talked about. There's no way they made that decision and then instantly did it.
They probably made that decision in May.
A couple months into regular Verdansk is probably what they did.
Probably May.
Yeah.
And it was and the launch was and lo and behold, the launch was a disaster. So they stop doing that. Stop changing shit at the last minute and expecting things to go well, because it doesn't. Now look, I have no faith that by January this, I have. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I have faith that by March, end of January, February, March, the game in Warzone will feel better.
Yeah, I agree.
It will feel good and will be there. But it could be too late, right? If people are burned on it and they feel, and then they're betting the house on Verdansk landing, and then and so if that's the bet, if the bet is we're just going to string Warzone along and kind of fix all the little nitty gritties between now and Verdansk is going to bring everything back, it better fucking do it. It better be perfect, because if it's not, Warzone is cooked.
Well, the thing is, and I think it was Lucci tweeted something to the effect that they're waiting for, Delta Force. They're waiting for like several things to come along and Battlefield BR. But the thing that they said at the end, I say they because I can't remember if it was Lucci or if it was somebody else, but it was one of the larger creators. And the thing they said was that Warzone just hasn't had any competition to this point. And that the second they do, I don't think that the way they've been doing things is going to fly. Like there's been no other real games that have captivated people like that, right? Because people that play Apex for the most part are not going to come play this game.
Yeah, people go. There's a little bit of crossover. But the reality is, Apex players are Apex players. Warzone players are Warzone players.
PUBG, Fortnite, same thing for those two. There's not a lot of crossover, but if you give the people, and this is why we agree that competition is good, if you give the people another BR that's functioning, a BR, and current day stuff without all the superpower bullshit, dude, I'm telling you, Warzone's gonna have to improve, and then I think that's a good thing for everybody.
I agree. And I think, I want to say it was Blame Truth, but don't quote me on that. Talked about how the Call of Duty has burned so much of its goodwill that they've built up that they need to figure it out, right? Like they need to be on top of it, because as soon as a competitor to Warzone shows up, like there's not a lot of people that are like, I love COD and nothing else. If you get, if Battlefield delivers a BR, right? If Gray Zone launch, or Delta Force ever actually launches full on console and goes and has controller support, like, their extraction mode is good. Like that's going to pull players. There's a lot, and I mean a lot, hanging on Call of Duty figuring this out. And they have to start building consecutive titles that are successful.
Well, successful integrations, and I think Black Ops 6 is a good start as far as like your title just for the multiplayer side of things, right? Like, It's pretty well received. It's the most played game, I believe, on both PlayStation and Xbox right now this last month, if I remember correctly. But the other thing is, too, is, you talk about like Goodwill, and one of the biggest issues is the lack of consistent communication. But that's also part of the fan base's issue too, in a way, because we had a really good community relations manager back in the day and we fucking ran her off. Like, where the fuck did she go? She's gone. Like, dude, people can't, like, I get that like gaming is a lot and it's all a lot of people have. Like, it's my only hobby too, and I'm passionate about it. But there's a way to communicate things with respect and treat people with dignity. And I think that I was talking with my dev friend about this last night. He doesn't have any social media. You want to know why? Because the way people fucking interact on social media with the devs, like, they don't work for you, my dude. Like, legitimately, that you are a consumer, but like at the end of the day, like, they're employed by whatever their company is that's providing you a service. So if you know what I mean, like, your interaction with them has to be a little bit different. But like, he's like, yeah, I don't have social media because of the way people are on it. He's like, it's bad enough in game because he's, all the studios have their own little clan tags. I don't know if you saw that the other night. Yeah. But like, they have their clan tags for the actual base game. And, he gets, believe it or not, he actually has gotten shadow banned just because of his clan tag. That's how fucking stupid
People,
that system is.
yeah.
But my point is like, there's a lot of these guys and gals that would love to interact with the community, but just can't.
Yeah. Well, look, I had, so when I was in development, one of the, I don't know if I've told this story yet or told it in its entirety. We'll close out on this one. When I was in development, I had a product. One of my products was I had to, what did I have to do? How do I phrase this? One of the products was we had to do a sign up page / homepage refresh. And in that refresh, we adjusted our membership tiers from 3 to 4 and kind of what you get at each price point. And at the end of the day, in addition to adjusting the number of tiers that we had, it adjusted the prices of those tiers. And therefore, if you were at the max tier, you went up like 18%, which, if you have one price hike every 8 years, that's not terrible investment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was a big enough thing, and we had everything planned. We usually shipped things on Thursdays, but something of this nature, we wanted messaging and everything to go out and be able to take time to kind of talk to people about it. So we were scheduled to launch on a Monday. Worked all day the week before. Monday morning, I found a way, a completely reasonable way that people will probably do, to renew your subscription every time you logged in. Like it would charge your card every time you logged in. That's not a good bug to ship.
No.
So filed it, blocked the launch, you see those movies where the train screeches and sparks are flying, right? And it comes this close to hitting the wall, right?
Yeah.
That close.
That would have been
everything was in disarray.
Disaster.
It was terrible, right? And this was right before 4th of July. And so it took until Friday morning to fix it. And really, because we fixed it and the fix broke something else, and then fixing what it broke brought it back. And then I found another way to do it, and that broke it again, right? It was a mess. I was pulling 12-hour days. It was an all hands. We need to get this out because of the quarterly reporting. We had to have it done by the end of the quarter. We couldn't, for some bullshit accounting reason. I don't remember.
Probably had to do with budgeting.
Above my pay grade, okay? Yeah. But we had to ship on time. And so we shipped on Friday at we ended up clearing, what did we do? We cleared QA at noon on Friday. It shipped by engineering shipped it at 2, and we finished our verification at 6:30. And so then marketing hit go and blasted out all of their stuff they'd been sitting on all week, which from my seat, hey, this is, I'm helping you. We helped you guys, right? You could have been out a lot of money and had all kinds of credit card issues. And you could have, you could have drained your debit account, without a moment's notice over the weekend when no one's here to help you. Right? I'm the hero. I saved you guys. Customers saw us push an 18% price hike hidden in adjustments to their tiers. So some people who didn't want to pay more were losing benefits on the Friday afternoon before 4th of July. So I made the mistake the next week of replying to somebody in a forum, trying to explain without giving away any secrets or breaking NDAs what happened and why we shipped. I deleted my forum account and blocked that site so I never saw it again. People online are, from a developer standpoint, I'm shocked. Anybody whose job is not to interact with the public willingly does so.
It's true.
Shocked. It's nuts that people would even do that because of how angry people get when any little thing goes wrong, no matter how much of an issue it is. So,
I mean, yeah. I think that's the way people treat employees of these companies is it's honestly, it's fucking disgraceful. And I don't know if it was Mike Tyson who said that that, you know, the internet has gotten people to a point to where they can just talk mad shit and without fear of getting punched in the mouth. And
people need to get, nobody gets punched in the mouth anymore. I think we should bring that back.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'll virtually punch you. But, yeah, like, I would like to see more interaction from the developers. And, you know, again, we both have some that we're friends with and that, you know, we communicate, you know, offline with. And, you know, I've actually been, you know, wanted to make sure I don't expose who I do know because of fucking, you know, the way people are.
Yeah. You know, there's a reason I don't talk about exactly where I work. There's a reason that I don't talk about these companies and name things and people, because I don't want something I say to lash back at them. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be some issue where it's like all of a sudden everybody's like, you know, I can't believe you, you know, you would say that about us, or I can't believe you would tell that story, right? And I mean, they're all stories; they all happen. But you know, there's people. I still have friends that work at some of these companies, and they have their careers, and you know, I don't want this stuff following them around, because you know, when people get passionate about something, it's like, oh, you put them on the internet, and it's like, oh Lord,
yeah,
good luck. It's like being a Cowboys fan.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, them fuckers are probably going to ruin my Thanksgiving like they do just about every other goddamn year. But, you know, it is what it is. Fuck them.
At least you guys are going into a rebuild instead of like the Niners, who are just perpetually, who have the team. We have championship teams, and we're just broken. Like that one champion, you know, with the NFC title game where we had no quarterback. With friggin' Christian McCaffrey playing quarterback.
Yeah, well, hey, dude, that year the fucking Eagles won the championship because of that, or went to the Super Bowl because of that shit. Yep. So yeah, that was a bad year. I really counted on you, and you let me down. But listen, before we wrap up, I do want to mention a couple things about a couple of our community members. First and foremost, JTO, who is an avid listener, he hops in my stream a lot. Really cool cat. He's a couple years younger than me, so he's old as fuck too. But picked up Call of Duty last year around Christmas time, if I remember correctly, for Modern Warfare 3 for the first time. Playing Black Ops, he literally just hit his very first prestige this week. You know, fucking GG's to you, bro. Like that's really awesome. Buddy. That's the shit we like to see, right? Like I like
to hear about it too. Don't forget, we love to hear about your accomplishments. I mean, let's be honest. You know, none of us are making World Series of Warzone. At least at the host side of things, we have some guests and listeners that you know that's not entirely true for. But you know, we're all about celebrating the things that you know the milestones you hit. You know, your PRs, right? You know, your PR might be 10, 15 in Warzone. Congratulations, bud. Like, you know, we're here to celebrate that too. Right. You know, we're old as hell. You know, we like to mix it up with the youngsters, but at the end of the day, like, you know, everybody's in their own spot in this game. Everybody hits their own points and plays the way that they can, you know, the best they can. And when you guys succeed, you know, we all succeed.
Yeah, I think so too. And, you know, it's just, it was awesome. And one of the things he told me in chat the other day when I was streaming is, you know, just simple stuff like learning when the spawns flip and being able to recognize that. You know, he said he watched that from, you know, listening to us and watching my stream and stuff like that. So I thought that was like really super. It was really fucking cool. But the other guy is Jordan, who just hit fucking Prestige Master. I wonder if the dude has gone outside and touched any grass in the last month, because that's some crazy shit, bro. But GG's and congratulations on that shit too, man.
Good job, buddy. So no, we're excited and you know, looking forward to it. We're gonna hopefully schedule some play days where we all kind of, you know, try and game with the community and do some more community hangout style episodes. You know, hopefully this Riverside program actually doesn't drop us.
Well, and Also, too, we appreciate the guys from Black Flag. All of those guys, they're all super cool guys. They're
always
listen to our podcast. They
Yep.
hit us up live, those kind of things. I mean, we appreciate everybody. And, you know, like I tweeted earlier this week, we are a podcast for everyone. Good at the game, bad at the game, old, young, whatever. We legitimately want, you know, we're for everyone. We don't subscribe to the nonsense labels that are thrown out and stuff like that. Like,
Yep.
we just want to be a podcast for everyone. And I feel like we're kind of succeeding in that regard. You know, getting to hear cool stories like JTO's story and stuff like that. So it's just great, man. It really makes me thankful because, you know, we're coming into Thanksgiving, and that's one of the things I'm thankful for, man. I'm thankful to actually be able to do this with you, you know, and the people that tune in and listen to our episodes regularly. Drade, you know, those guys, man.
Yeah. And, you know, I appreciate, you know, we have a lot of guests that are willing to come on and talk to us. And, you know, we've had some really top tier guys on. We had Brax on. We've had, you know, Where's Waldo and some of the involved people on. You know, we've also had, you know, we've got some great people that are coming in from the content side and just some, you know, just different perspectives of gaming. You know, we had Crochet Callie, if you remember, way back at the beginning.
Yeah.
Coming up, we've got some big guests on the docket, trying to nail down some dates and times, but it's going to be a bang and end of the year. And then we're going to roll into it and have, you know, a really good kickoff in 2025. Where are we? 25? 25. So, you know, appreciate everybody. You know, we're going to probably be thanking you guys again and again as we grow. You know, we're not ones to forget where we come from because, let's be honest, we're all still here. But thank you guys, and we really appreciate you. And on that, we're going to catch you all in the next one.
To go live on Twitch.